Sim Racing Dan here with ISRA's GTC race at Homestead. This is the start of the race here. Green flag just dropped, and I'm going through turn 1. I started in 6th position, and here we go. So this race here was broadcast live thanks to PSR TV, and I checked out the recording of the broadcast. It was incredible, just like a pro race. Alright, so my first mistake here, I took it a little easy to make sure. I was a little nervous with the broadcast, didn't want to cause any turn 1 incidents, and I've lost 2 positions already here. So I'm in 8th, and took again a conservative line, really slow on the inside, and I dropped down to 9th because Gary passes me. And in this race, it turned out to be really important, the starting position. The first, I don't know, 3 or 4 laps were really all about getting held up by traffic. Here we have a Mustang that couldn't or didn't do a qualifying lap, so it started behind the Mustangs. I think that's Aldo. Yep. So I let him by. And finally, I'm free to race my own race, but I'm way behind Gary. Okay, so coming in here, I think this is lap 3 or so. So Mustang, that's Dwight, goes off and rejoins in turn 2, but does a very nice rejoin, doesn't interrupt any of us. And I've obviously caught up to Gary here, so that's a good lap or 2 that I did. I think this might be lap 2, which means that was a pretty good end of the first lap. And here's where the traffic slows everyone down. You can see this enormous pack of Miatas. Nobody's going the speed they want. At this point, you know, the pole sitter and the first few are broke free, and they're doing great. Okay, so I have Kem behind me, and I'm trying to catch up with Dean. I go a little wiggly, too much gas on the turn exit, and I recover, but it was a bad exit, and Kem makes the pass. I slot in right between him and Ryan, though. So let's see if I can manage to pass him. Big oval section is massive for drafting for these Miatas. The trick is converting it into a pass at turn 1, because it's a very fast braking braking entry and turn. You know, if you go full speed, you're not fully in control. You know, if any variables screw you up, you're in trouble. So I took it easy here. I was hoping Kem would make a mistake and I would be able to get the exit speed, but I wasn't able to. So I'm still in 2nd here. Or rather, I'm still behind him. Not in 2nd position in the race. I think I'm still at like 9th now. Okay. So here the V8s are starting to come through, and you can see we don't have great track position here as a pack of Miatas. We didn't make that easy. I wasn't able to get enough room here on Alex, so I had to let him take the inside there. But he had an off just before, and so I was able to take advantage of that. And do I get enough speed to pass him? Not yet. I'm alongside him, so I can't quite draft off him. The upper areas of the oval are definitely slower, so you can see he starts to gain on some time on me, and so I pull into be behind him. And here's where I'm pulling alongside. But here's turn 1, where it's tricky as can be. He goes for a really narrow line. I try not to hit him successfully. Don't hit him. He goes off, and that's my opportunity. Gun it, and into turn 2. Okay, so Kem passed Dean, and here I am down the straight, trying my hand at passing him. The outside's the tough place to be. You really want to be on the inside. You don't want to be pushed off into the grass under braking. And Dean catches it, but he definitely has a mistake there. I'm able to take advantage of it, and here I am behind Kem. Alright, Kem has gained some time on me. I let a Mustang by. Oh, and Mustangs are slow in those corners, so that sort of, I don't know, interrupted me, confused me. I locked the brakes a little, had an off. Gary, unrelated to my mistake, he was behind me. He also had an off. And let's see, a couple cars go by. Sean went by. That right there's Dean, and ooh, a V8 and 2 V8s. Clean, no contact, but man, that was close. Very scary. Okay, so I've caught up to Dean again. We've got a V8 go by. I'm going to try for the inside. And Dean goes in too fast. This was actually on the broadcast, this pass. And I make the pass on the inside. I've got Alex ahead of me by 4 seconds. Alright, if you look at my F3 screen, it's a bunch of red. That's mostly because I'm pitting a lap later than most people did. So here I enter the pits. There we go. And finish my pit. Exit just as a Mustang comes in. And head towards one of the worst pit exits in the world. Right into, it's a short pit exit area, right into a massive fast braking zone and a turn. Whoever designed this probably said they don't like the road course version, but if they have to make it, and make those road drivers pay. Okay, so I catch back up to Kem after, if you'll remember from way back when I made that mistake going off. So I'm essentially back where I was, and on Kem's tail, gaining the draft off him. My V8 passes on the left, and that makes it so I cannot make the pass. I just, wasn't able to get into a good pass position with the V8 going by, which is fine. That is exactly what should have happened. Just explaining how it all went down. Okay, so Kem on the inside. Again, the favored position, but I'm definitely ahead of him. No longer can see him, and he brakes. He goes on the inside. He goes for his a pretty narrow turn on turn 1. He braked quite a bit, and I had to brake so I wouldn't run into him, so neither of us really enjoyed that one. Okay, he gives me the inside on the next lap, but he does enter ahead of me, and he spins. So that's pass for me. All these battles are really fun, but you definitely don't make up the time that you lost. Okay, so here we have, I think this is Jim, if I'm right. So he's waving by the V8. You can see his brakes were on extra early, but I wasn't ready for the V8 behind us. He was too far behind. You can see him in my left mirror there. He was too far behind to make that wave by make sense. But there we go. Clean pass on the turn. I took the inside so he could do that. So Kem has caught up with me here, and you can see him just in my left mirror. He's left now and using every inch of the track, but I've squeezed him a little bit so that he wasn't able to take a very wide curve there, but I have an off. I recover it, but it's enough for Kem to make the pass. Great dart by me right before I re-entered the track. Okay, so he didn't lose me, obviously. Back to this situation that I think we've seen a couple times this race. This time I enter a little ahead of him, but on the outside. And he goes a little wide, I go on the inside. And given the inside on turn 2, I am able to make the pass. That was an awesome job on his part. Keeping that clean and incident-free. That was a great job. Okay, here we are back again in turn 1. He's right to my right. We entered about the same, and he passes me, and a V8 passes me. Man, you see, that is fine multi-class driving. I didn't let either of those go intentionally, but you know, we all had our position on track perfect so that there was room to go 3 wide in between turn 1 and 2. Great job, everyone there. Okay, I've got the outside here. He's taking the inside. Here's where I had to screw up or slow down my entry in order to not hit him. So where perhaps a passing opportunity might have existed, I had to throw it away. That's where it pays to actually brake more, let the other guy through first, so that you can get your full exit speed and pass him on the straight. Because I didn't benefit at all by having what would have been a good turn entry, being next to him there. Okay, but I'm able to make the pass there, and now here we are. He outbrakes me. Has a rough turn there, but he is next to me, so it's all about exit speed, and I did it. I defended that. He almost had the pass, but not quite. Okay, back here in turn 7, and I'm on the outside, Kim's on the inside, and he makes the pass. All of this, I think I mentioned before, but all of this great battling is a lot of fun, but unfortunately neither of us was racing as fast as we could. So even though it was fun and we were battling for one position, we were probably both individually fast enough to catch up with Ryan up there ahead of us, but just couldn't do it, taking the compromised lines that we were in order to keep this battle going. We just weren't able to get away from each other enough to get those clean passes, or the clean laps that we wanted. Okay, so here we are, come down to the finish. Ken's ahead of me, I'm drafting, gaining on him, but there it is, through the finish line. Great race.